What's up, everybody? Your girl is back. How's everybody doing? I mentioned before I was going to start these videos back, and I am. And I feel like it's time. I have been out of commission for a little while, dealing with a lot of stuff, and this has been on me to start again. So there's a reason for that. I am stuck in traffic right now, but it's all good. Let's see, what are we going to talk about today? Let's see. I think maybe I want to talk about your purpose and what you were meant to do or who you were meant to be. Possibly why you're here. There's a lot of us, we just exist because we're here. And we follow what we think is the right course in our lives. You know, let me roll these windows up. And we think that we're on the right path of our lives and what we're supposed to be doing. And you have to forgive me because I feel a little out of sorts right now because it's been a long time since I did a video, but I wanted to go ahead and do that. So if I'm not looking directly at the camera, that's because I'm trying to watch this traffic. What is your purpose? Why were you put here? What is it that you're supposed to be doing? Who are the people you're supposed to be connecting with, and what for? And all of that ties in together if you think about it. I mean, look at your connections that you have currently. Your group of friends, the people that you surround yourself with. You know, you may be the oddball in your family. You may be the black sheep. You don't get invited to the get-togethers. You know, and if you do get invited, it's just because you're part of the family and they feel like they ought to invite you. It would be wrong not to invite you. But when you get there, what happens? You're made to feel like you are the oddball. And your conversations are strained with your family members. You know, you feel the vibe, the funny acting vibes, and, you know, then there's a shade that's thrown at you on the low, and they think that you're not picking up on it. A lot of you are empaths and don't even know that you are. If you don't know what an empath is, look it up. It's not that hard to figure it out. But if you're a person that can pick up on other people's energy very well and read people very well, and I don't mean input your own thoughts into what you think about that person. I mean really pick up on who they are on the inside, not what they show you on the outside. You pick up on things that they don't say, and certain actions and things that they do when they're around you become a pattern, and you begin to figure that person out. Empaths have a hard time shutting that off of reading people. Empaths are people that can feel everybody's energy, whether it's good or bad. You can be in a room full of people and pick up on every last one of those energies in the room, and sometimes it's very overwhelming. Some people like the crowds, like being around people. They like the attention. They like the noise. They like activity, you know, the rowdiness and all of that, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with enjoying those things. But at some point, for an empath, you're going to want to shut it down because it becomes overwhelming. Because you cannot shut that off. You don't have the ability to shut it off because it's something innate. It's something that's a part of you. You were born with it to be an empath. And I can speak for myself. Ever since I was a child, I've been picking up on energies and vibes and stuff like that. Didn't even understand what it was that I was picking up on. Didn't even understand what it was that I was feeling. You know, the vivid dreams that I would have that would be about people that are already in my life, and people that are not yet, you know, are yet to be in my life. And then, you know, because you're around your family as a kid, or whoever your family members are at that time, those are the ones you're going to read right away. Just like they say, a child can pick up on good and bad vibes. You ever seen a child that was okay being around certain people, and then when other people come around, that child begins to act out? You know, and they don't want that person to touch them. They don't want to be around that person. It could be a family member. It could be a friend, other family. It could be anybody. But when they get around certain individuals, you know, they kind of cling into their mom or their dad or the closest family member that, you know, they're close to, and leaning away from that individual, kind of like they don't want to be around them. That's because a child is innocent and haven't been tainted yet with thoughts pressed upon them from family members or other people, and they have yet to form their own opinion about things. But vibes don't lie. So with innocent children, they don't understand that they're picking up on a bad vibe. They just know they don't like it and they want to get away from it. So as you grow and you develop and you become an adult, if you pay attention, you'll start to learn people's vibes. You'll start to feel them. You'll start to recognize them. You know how the saying goes that you can recognize crap from far away, for lack of me using the word that I want to use right now. You can recognize crap from far away. You know, and now excuse me, because these people are doing some strange stuff on this road. We're in a traffic jam. That's what's going on. So it's harder when you get an adult if you've been ignoring it, because when you're a kid, you're developing your intuition. You're learning, and you don't know that you're learning that. That's your intuition you're listening to, but that's what it is. Like that child that leans away from the person that has the bad energy or the bad vibes, that's their intuition kicking in, letting them know something ain't right. You know, and because they're innocent and they're pure, they will lean away from those things that are not pure and good and positive. So as an adult, by the time you become an adult, you should have honed in on those skills. And some of us still don't know, you know, once we become young adults, what our intuition is. You know, you hear the phrase, well, follow my first mind. That's your intuition. When you follow your intuition, you're not following your own desires and wants, because your intuition will lead you away from those things that are not good for you. And sometimes we know the right thing that we should be doing and we don't do it. And that's when we're not listening. That's when we choose not to listen to our intuition. Say, for example, you're in a conversation with somebody, and I don't know how the conversation could possibly go, and you choose to lie. So maybe in the conversation, somebody's telling you about their accomplishments and things that they've done, and, you know, their achievements and different things, and it make you feel some kind of way. So you want to come back with your own little story, you know, about your accomplishments, but you want to embellish just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, or maybe too much, and then it becomes a lie, because you're trying to, you know, keep up with that person. So because at that point, when I say you feeling some type of way about it, that's you being envious of their achievements and their goals, and they're not even trying to make you feel small about yourself. You know, it's not like they're saying, oh, you know, you ain't got this going on and I do. They're not even coming in that energy at all. But because of your own insecurities, you will perceive it that way. And so you want to come back with something else to try to top that, and then lie on top of it and embellish it, make it more than what it really is. And we don't really see things that way all the time when we're in the midst of doing those things, where we're in that energy of trying to top what somebody else is doing. We don't really see it that way. We don't really look at it as, oh, I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, or, or I'm in the energy of being envious. We don't even look at ourselves as doing that when we're in the process of trying to top what somebody else is doing. And that's something that I think is really, what's the word I want to use? For lack of better words, it's a big thing with people, especially our people, and, to try to top what somebody else is doing. My grandmother put it another way. She said, like, keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know the Joneses. I don't know the Walkers. I don't know the Hudsons. I don't know any of them and what they're doing. And frankly, I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I'm not insecure about who I am as an individual. Because we're all individuals, and we all have our own gifts, our own thoughts, our own experiences, that we've experienced throughout life. And these are the things that have helped us to form our perspective on life and how we see things. Insecurity comes in when we're not confident in who we are, and we don't really know who we are. We think we do. We say we do. We tell everybody else who we are. We make sure other people know who we are. I'm going to make sure I'm that dude, I'm that girl, I'm this and I'm that, kind of boast in a way, try to let people know, hey, I'm this, and, don't go there, and so to speak. And that's a projection from inside of your insecurities that you have inside of you to try to impress upon somebody else that you're somebody that you're really not. Another thing I wanted to touch on was confidence and ego. Because people get it mixed up and think that it's the same thing. And I've seen it on Facebook and other social media platforms where it says confidence without ego. And I've even posted it on my page before. Because I really and truly do agree with that. You can be confident without ego. What is confidence? Confidence is knowing who you are. You're confident. You know yourself through and through. You're not lying to yourself about who you are. You're not lying to nobody else about who you really are. And this is who you are through and through. You're not projecting an image. You're confident in who you are, and you're okay with that. You're okay with being you. Ego is, let me go back to confidence. When you're confident, you're also free. Because when you're truly being yourself, you don't have to put up a facade. You don't have to put up an image. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be phony. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be the type of person that, boasts and try to make other people feel smaller than you. That's not confidence. That's ego. Ego is when you want other people to think that you're somebody that you're not. You want to project this image of being that dude or that guy, or, I'm that one, you bet not this and you bet not that, and you want everybody else to really like you because you don't like yourself. Because, deep down inside you got some crap going on that you haven't fully dealt with. Or maybe it's some problems within yourself that you haven't fully dealt with. You haven't healed from. You have some childhood traumas that happened to you. A lot of you have been molested when you were children. A lot of us have. You were molested when you were children, and you never told nobody, and you never got no help for it either. And so now that you're a full-grown adult, possibly middle-aged or, around the 50s or something like that, for those of you that went to school with me around my age, you've been molested as a child. Nobody knows about that but you and that person that molested you. And you have some trauma there that you haven't dealt with. But you overlooked it and chalked it up as an experience. Some of us with the ego have looked at it as, I had sex young. I got started early and boasting that like it was something, something to be proud of. And it's not. It's not anything to be proud of. You were traumatized. You were victimized as a child. And that trauma has crept into your everyday living and how you operate, your MO when it comes to, and I'm talking about being molested as a child, it has crept into your life and how you operate and how you have relationships with people in an intimate way. It has distorted your view of what intimacy is and what it's supposed to be, and has distorted your view on how you relate to someone in an intimate way, so that your intimacy becomes perverted. And when I say perverted, everybody knows what perversion is. And they will, somebody's going to get upset and say, I'm not a pervert. I'm not saying you're a pervert. I said your view of intimacy has been perverted, which means that you have lost the true meaning of what intimacy really is and what it's not. So there's a blurred line there. And you've operated this way for so long that you don't see an issue anymore. You're talking years and years and years of operating like this, so it's going to take a minute for you to come out of that if you were trying to. There's a lot of you guys and a lot of us are married and with our significant others and have been for years, and have never told their spouses or their significant others of what happened to them. And then you got some that have told their significant others and still won't deal with it and will deny that they've been traumatized by it and they have an issue. Because we want to be in control of everything about ourselves. How can you be in control of things about yourself that's wrong, that you know that happened to you, that traumatized you, that messed you up, if you will not deal with it? You can't just sweep it up under the rug and think it won't creep back up. It is going to creep back up, and it's going to seep out in how you relate to other people on an intimate level. And that goes for anything that you have experienced that was traumatizing to you, even though you would say it's not traumatizing. I was not traumatized. I don't have no trauma. You got a lot of denial going on with a lot of people. You've been abused as a kid, you were traumatized. And our people are quick to say, that's kind of what we call it, abuse is really not abuse, because that was normal for us. Well, who said it was normal? Who said that it was normal just because, that happened to us as kids? And a lot of us, a vast majority of us have experienced it. Who said it was normal just because a lot of us experienced it? Who told you that that was normal? To be abused as a kid? Well, you calling it abuse? My mama just whooped my ass. Yeah, she did. My mama did too. But there's a line between getting a spanking and getting your ass beat like a Hebrew slave or a slave, period. And that's how we perceive it a lot of times when we come out of that and recognize what happened to us. It was abuse. And so you experience some trauma from that could seep over into your everyday life as you grow into adulthood. And a lot of us still carry those scars. I mean, physical scars and mental scars and spiritual scars from the abuse. Now, what is abuse? Abuse is anything that doesn't agree with your soul. And when I say doesn't agree with your soul is something that makes you who you are. It is the essence of who you are. And so when you're abused, you know immediately that it's wrong. Something is happening to you that's abuse. You immediately, your soul recognizes that it's wrong. It's wrong. It should not be happening to you. You immediately feel that on the inside, that something is wrong with this. And when you feel that, that is when you, as an adult now, because as a child, you're not speaking out back against your parents, trying to tell them it's wrong what they're doing to you. We weren't raised like that. Most of us wasn't. You're not about to say too much because you know it could get worse. But as an adult, when you know you've been traumatized before, your soul automatically recognizes trauma and abuse when you're an adult because it's familiar with it. And just like back then when you felt as a kid that it was wrong, as an adult you know it's wrong. Abuse comes in many forms. It's physical, it's mental, and it's spiritual. But it's all wrong. It's all wrong. It should not be happening. But it does. Let's talk about mental abuse for a little bit. Mental abuse is could be verbal. Verbal and mental sometimes go hand in hand. It could be the things that people are saying to you on a consistent basis every day. They can say some really harsh things to you, telling you that, let me use an example. You always let's say, let me get a real good example. Let me think real quick. Verbal abuse. Yelling at you, screaming at you, outbursts, accusing you of stuff, talking about you to your face. And mind you, in these instances, you've done nothing wrong. From that verbal abuse will stem mental abuse. Because it causes you to rethink. It causes you to internalize. It causes you to look at yourself as though you're an issue. You've caused a problem. Because it's constant and it's always happening, you start looking at yourself and questioning yourself. Verbal and mental abuse is meant to drive you crazy. It's to have you questioning reality at some point. Because it will drive you there if it doesn't stop and you don't stop it. You'll start questioning who you are. What's your purpose? Why you here? Which is the reason why I started the video off that way, talking about that. It'll have you trying to figure out, what are you doing wrong? Why is this happening to me? Why do they keep saying those things to me? Why do they keep screaming at me? And you'll actually say these things out loud to the abuser, the mental and the verbal abuser. Why do you keep doing that to me? Why do you keep saying that to me? I talk about these things to help, hopefully to help somebody, if it's just one person. Because abuse in any form is wrong. No matter if the abuser is saying they're not doing anything wrong, because they will tell you that. And they will make it seem like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What am I doing? Well, ask you. The abuser will ask you, what are they doing wrong? So basically, you ain't got no right to be complaining about what I'm doing to you. You ain't got no right. Let me abuse you. Let me say what I want to say to you so I can tear you down and break you down. Let me do these things to you. Quit complaining. I don't know why you complaining. You always complaining about something that I'm saying to you or something that I'm doing to you. And they will act in and play innocent while they victimize you. Like they're not doing anything wrong. But you got to understand, traumatized people, hurt people do hurt people because something is wrong with them. This is something that's inside, it's in them. They have some issues that they ain't told nobody about or don't want to tell you about. So they project that onto you to make you feel like they feel inside. When a person doesn't have any peace, this is what they do to peaceful people around them. To break them down, to tear them down, because your peace irritates them. Why you always happy? You always, in a good mood. Me being me, and I'm a good-natured person, I'm a happy person. I'm happy all the time. But you get around somebody that's not happy on the inside, no matter what they project on the outside to you, this image that they give you, they will try to tear you down. They will try to tear you down. And sometimes, because they're so messed up, they don't even know that that's what they're doing to you. Because it's automatic for them, because they have been doing it for so long. They cannot help themselves. So when you kick back and you tell them what they're doing to you is wrong, that's when they throw their hands up like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're always complaining about me abusing you. Still trying to traumatize you in their own defense. That's a messed up individual. So we can chalk up abuse in any form to somebody that won't take accountability for their own actions. Because accountability means that you would have to be vulnerable. It means that you would have to come out of this little space that you put yourself in to where you're projecting this image that you're this good-natured person, and you're telling people that you're this good-natured person when knowing deep down inside you're a snake, you're dirty, you got a lot of garbage going on inside of you, and a lot of stuff that you done did to people then came back on you. You don't want nobody to know, and then you underhandedly dealing with people that you shouldn't be dealing with, that you know ain't good for you or your soul. Got dirty dealings with folks. If you're that type of person and you got all this going on, but yet you're trying to still get people to believe that you're this good-natured, good-hearted person, but you refuse to cut those things that you know are not good for your soul, how can the two walk together unless they agree? You either are a good-natured person or you're not. Because you cannot dibble and dabble in things that are not good for your soul and then tell people you're a good person. The two don't mix. It's like oil and water. It's you verbally saying one thing, but you're doing something else that's contradicting what you're saying. And for an empath to pick up on that and start to call you out on your shit, now you want to be mad at them. Now you want to be mad at them because now they know. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about because it was on me to talk about it. You know, and I know some people going to get offended, but it's okay. I'm used to people being offended with the truth. But what can you do with the truth? Nothing. Accept it as it is, incorporate it into your life, or reject it and continue being that person that you've always been, that dirty person that you've always been, that sneaky person that you've always been, dealing with the dirt and the crappy people that you've always dealt with. Because when people don't want to elevate, they don't want to change their ways, they begin to attack you because you're the light. When you're the light, darkness rejects the light. Which means that person is in darkness and they love it. They love being a snake. They love doing sneaky stuff. They love getting away with stuff. They love that. Because they've been getting away with it so long and don't know karma coming for them. They love it. Getting over on people. They love hurting people and seeing people suffer because that's how they feel inside. And you know what? You really shouldn't be that mad at that person. You could disconnect from them, but you really shouldn't be mad at that person because they have a real serious issue. They got real serious issues. And I mean, these are some issues that is going to need some serious therapy, you know, to work through and get them to a better space. Because right now, they're not even thinking about being in a better space. They're enjoying what they can get away with and getting over with. But deep down inside, at the end of the day, when they're by themselves or when they're just sitting, contemplating and thinking over their lives, they think about all the dirt and the stuff that they've done to people. And it bothers them. They'll tell you they don't care. They'll tell you they don't care about nobody else. And they will act like they don't care. And they will do things like they don't care. And they will treat you like they don't care. Then when you tell them they don't care about nothing and nobody but themselves, they attack you. They look at you like, well, you think you are some goody two-shoes? No, I'm just not a slime ball. That's all it is. You're not. You're not a slime ball. You're not a sleaze ball. That's not your cup of tea. That's not who you are. That's not who you're trying to become. See, elevation and growth requires you to own up to your own crap. Because deep down inside, these individuals know they full of crap. But they don't want you to know that they full of crap. But once you figure it out, you have to protect yourself from individuals like that. Because these people will run you over and run you ragged and hurt you. They will try to destroy you, or will destroy you if you let it. So now you're acting funny. You're not talking a lot. You're not engaging in a whole lot of stuff. They say you acting funny, or they think you acting funny, and they talking about you to their little karmic, toxic ass friends who ain't gonna do nothing but help and enable their toxic, crazy behavior. Because they're toxic, they can only give toxic advice, which keeps that person in a toxic cycle where they cannot seem to break free from, because these are the people they surround themselves with. So your circle of friends can impact you in a positive or a negative way. So this is why the circle you keep is really important. You have supporters, or do you have haters? You have people that are envious of you. They're not really for you. They don't celebrate your small wins, let alone the big ones. They're not interested in that. Then those are the wrong people to be around. Do they give false support and talk about you behind your back? Do they really pretend around you like they're happy for you, but they're really not? If you're an empath or you're a person that can read vibes very well, you'll know. When I say your peace irritates people that don't have peace, you will learn that, if you haven't already, who is really for you. Because they can't stand that you're a peaceful, happy person and trying to keep the peace. And they resist change that needs to happen. And I hear a lot of people say this all the time, and I really don't agree with it. And they say stuff like, this is the way I've always been. Like, I'm not going to change. That's what they're telling you. I don't plan on changing. I don't see a need to change. Even if it bothers you and it hurts you, my actions and my behaviors are hurting you, I'm still not going to change. I have no intention, I mean, your intentions mean everything, of changing my behavior, my thought pattern, the things that I do. Because it's worked for me very well. And when they say it works for them very well, it's gotten me what I wanted. At the expense of others, but it's gotten me what I wanted. You know, me being the way I've been is how I got to where I am. We're not going to count how many toes I done stepped on or ran over, you know, and how many people I done left in my wake that I destroyed or hurt or crushed or messed over or used. We're not going to talk about those people. But me being the way that I am, and I'm just saying this as though they would say it, this is what they think, has gotten me to where I am. I'm successful because I stepped on other people. I used other people. I hurt other people. I've done a lot of lying, a lot of sneaky stuff, a lot of get back stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. A lot of stuff that you don't know about, that if you did know about it, then you wouldn't think that I'm this person that I've been projecting for you to believe that I am. You know, all this time I've been working to put this image up to where people see what I want them to see. But if you pull the cover back and see that person for who they really are, you will learn that they dirtball. They sleazy. They did a lot of stuff to people that was wrong. And these people, again, I'm going to say, are miserable people. They're not happy individuals no matter how they want you to believe that. Even they know that they're not happy people. Not really. They know all the dirt that they've done. They know everything that they've done, and some of them are proud of it and boast. You're not that type of person. You're not a revengeful type of person. You're not trying to get nobody back on some get back. I can do it better than you and boast about it. You're not that type of person. You know that that's not your role in life. You choose not to be that person. And you notice I use that word, choose. You didn't choose because you can't choose. You can choose to be wherever the hell you want to be. But understand the repercussions from your choice. Because in being in that mode, that energy, that negative energy, and that low vibrating energy, and being that type of person that's a sleazeball, that's always on some get back, that's boastful, that's prideful, that works from their ego and not their confidence, that's not peaceful, that always brings chaos wherever they go, that's argumentative all the time, you like to argue, like to one-up you all the time. Understand the repercussions from being that person. Because whatever you put out is going to come back. However you put it out is coming back, and sometimes worse than the way you put it out. And these are not happy people. They suffer in silence. But you will never see that. I'll never let you see that. Because being vulnerable and being real, because that's what really is being real, is being true to yourself, being real, being honest with yourself, being honest with you first before you can be honest with anybody else. Because a liar is a person that's not honest with themselves. They're not true to themselves because there's no reason to lie. But the reason they will lie, that they will have, is because I can't implicate myself. I can't make myself look bad. I can't let them know that I'm this bad person. So I'm going to hold this lie up and every other lie I tell after that, so that you think I'm this person, I'm this good person. When really I'm a liar. And I've been lying the whole damn time. So they live a lie. Life is full of lies. It is what it is. And so they present themselves to you as this person. And you stay connected to this person, whether it's family, friend, a significant other, partner, best friend. you name it. And then you find out that they're this big ass liar. And that destroys the image that they built for themselves with you and everybody else. They can't be found out because that's being too vulnerable. That's being real though. If you're honestly and truly being real with yourself, and you have no reason to be that negative person at all. Period. There's no reason to do it, to be that way, to say the things that you say, to act the way that you act, to treat people bad, to use people to lie to them, especially when they're good to you. These people find fault with everybody else and everything else except themselves. And I promise you that's what it is. Alright, I'm pulling up at the crib now. I just wanted to get that off my chest, and I hope that that helps somebody. I'll be back with another video, and I'm going to put this on my YouTube page. So I put the link up if you want to see this video again, if you caught the tail end of it. But your girl is back, and I will be back again. So took the time to listen. If not, you know, rewind it. And I'm at home. Peace, love, and light.